Hello, my name is Minjung Kim, and I am the Director and CEO of the New Britain Museum of American Art. I'm delighted to share with you a virtual walkthrough of our current exhibition, Kara Walker, Harper's Pictorial History of the Civil War Annotated, a presentation that has particular significance for our museum. The exhibition marks the launch of the New Britain Museum of American Art's 2020 20 Plus Women Initiative, for which all of our exhibitions have been dedicated to female identifying artists in honor of the centennial of women's suffrage in America. Throughout the year, we will be presenting a series of special exhibitions and reinterpreting our permanent collection installations to bring greater diversity and representation of women artists in our galleries. This initiative is made possible by the generous support of Stanley Black and Decker, presenting sponsor of the NBMAA's 2020 20 Plus Women Initiative. Additional support has been provided by Bank of America. This exhibition also marks the debut of the museum's recent acquisition of Walker's important print series, Harper's Pictorial History of the Civil War Annotated, reflecting our commitment to celebrate the work of important women artists, not only through exhibitions, but also through acquisitions that will allow us to present diverse perspectives of American art to our visitors today, as well as for generations to come. The exhibition is also made possible by the generosity of the Polly Thayer Star Charitable Trust, and programming is made possible by the Connecticut Humanities. And last, but certainly not least, I'm grateful to my colleagues here at the museum and to our members and patrons for your continued support of the museum and for making projects like this possible. I'm delighted now to share insights from our Associate Curator, Lisa Hayes Williams. We hope to welcome you back to the museum and to the exhibition very soon.
Hello, my name is Lisa Hayes Williams, and I am the Associate Curator at the New Britain Museum of American Art. Today, I'm excited to take you through our current exhibition, Kara Walker, Harper's Pictorial History of the Civil War Annotated. Kara Walker is one of the most influential artists working today. For nearly 3 decades, she has created pioneering work that explores race, gender, identity, and American history. Her powerful compositions utilize the form of the black and white cut paper silhouette, a medium that is traditionally associated with 19th century portrait profiles of the upper middle class. Walker appropriates this rather sentimental art form to construct provocative narratives that expose or confront inequality and prejudice, as well as stereotypes that pervade society. Walker's art is typically set against the backdrop of historical events, including the Civil War, thereby challenging viewers to recognize unsettling parallels between our nation's past and its present. This exhibition marks the premiere debut of the New Britain Museum of American Art's 2019 acquisition of Walker's important series, Harper's Pictorial History of the Civil War Annotated. Created in 2005, this work comprises a suite of 15 large-scale prints that consider experiences of racism and violence that were absent or only alluded to in historical representations of the Civil War. Each print in the portfolio includes an enlargement of an original woodcut plate from Harper's Pictorial History of the Civil War, a 2-volume compendium published in 1866 with the intention of narrating events of the war, according to the editors, just as they occurred. By overlaying silhouette figures upon the scenes, Walker visually disrupts the original images and suffuses them with traumatic scenarios left out of the official record. In this way, Walker activates the past in order to address the reality of racial conflict that persists in the United States today. Let's explore a few of the works in the exhibition. One of the first prints that visitors encounter upon entering the gallery is entitled Confederate Prisoners Being Conducted from Jonesboro to Atlanta. I think it's fascinating to compare the original Harper's illustrations with Kara Walker's contemporary interventions. The original Harper's image of this scene depicts a group of Confederate soldiers being marched to Atlanta after being captured in Jonesboro, Georgia. One is struck by the seemingly endless throng of weary soldiers as they travel on foot, past a group of white civilians to the left. Let's look at Walker's intervention. Here, the original image is superimposed by a large silhouette profile of an African American man. When juxtaposed, the soldiers depicted in the original Harper's engraving appear to gaze at the silhouette, whose oversized scale precludes it from being ignored or disregarded. Although absent from the original scene, and many Civil War depictions for that matter, Walker's work reminds us emphatically of the plight of African American slaves and their presence in this American conflict. In this and other works throughout the show, she makes history's invisible participants visible again. The flat opacity of their forms grab our attention and boldly obscure the subject of the original print. Another fascinating example is a composition entitled Buzzards, Roost, Pass. The original Harper's image depicts the advance of Union troops into a sweeping valley in northwest Georgia. What is perhaps most immediately striking about this image is not the violence inherent to the exchange of cannon shots underway, but the staggering beauty of the landscape. In Kara Walker's version, however, the brutality and carnage of the war is made horrifically apparent in the fragments of a woman's figure scattered both within and outside of the image. In the mid-1800s, the entire South was economically and politically dependent upon cotton, as well as slave labor to plant, maintain, and harvest the crop. Throughout the Civil War, Union troops were tasked with finding and confiscating cotton produced by Southern plantations. Confederates hid hordes of cotton bales in swamps along these waterways in an attempt to prevent Union troops from finding them, as depicted in this scene entitled Cotton Hordes in Southern Swamp. Emerging from the swamp, Walker overlays a moss-covered figure that echoes the elegant, sinuous form of the tree branches, referring perhaps to the runaway slaves who also took to hiding in swamps and marshlands during the Civil War. Although her silhouettes appear to echo and interact with the illustrations beneath them, in this work and others, there is no clear narrative between the two. Her shadowy figures represent a hidden history running parallel to these published scenes that force us to confront themes of race, gender, violence, and power. Juxtaposed with Walker's 15 prints is a group of original Harper's engravings of the Civil War by acclaimed American artist Winslow Homer, drawn from the museum's permanent collection. Among a select group of artist reporters employed by Harper's, a leading magazine of the 1800s, Winslow Homer was sent to the front lines beginning in 1861 at the young age of 25 to illustrate battle scenes and camp life. Embedded with Union troops, Homer undertook often dangerous and exhausting work to document his encounters, original examples of which are on view here, including A Shell in the Rebel Trenches, 1863, The War for the Union, a Cavalry Charge, 1862, and Winter Quarters at Camp, the Inside of a Hut, 1862. These two bodies of work, original Harper's illustrations and their contemporary retelling by Kara Walker, executed more than a century apart, reveal diverse perspectives of the Civil War and suggest that history remains an always fraught and always contested narrative.